African wild dog is Southern Africa's most endangered large carnivore, with just over 400 left in all of Southern Africa, around 6,000, I'm told, on the continent. Wildlife photographer Jocelin Kagan has been on a mission, she says, to document these animals. And the upshot is a new book called Africa's Wild Dogs, a Survival Story. There are some astonishing images of rarely seen interaction between them. And she joins me now on Monday lunchtime. Jocelin, good afternoon to you and a very warm welcome. These are animals that don't necessarily have a good reputation. They are largely unknown. You also say, though, in your book that they are very misunderstood. In what way?
Well, Jeremy, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers. Yes, over the years, they have been given a really bad reputation because of their bad table manners. Their table manners are not exactly the ones that you'd want to sit down with. They are extremely successful hunters. They will, more than 80% of their hunts are successful. They'll bring down their prey and they will start to feed immediately. And this is a put-off to a lot of people who would rather see an animal suffocated by the predator, such as a lion might or might not do, or a leopard might or might not do. Animals are not exactly predictable, and in the case of the wild dog, they need to eat fast. They need to digest quickly, bring down their prey, strip the prey of whatever flesh they can get. They ingest it, and they will invariably either go, if they're not in a denning season, go and lie under a tree and rest or sleep for the night. Or if they're in a denning season, they'll take that food, they'll take it back to the den, to the lactating mother and to the cubs, the alpha female and the cubs, and they will then regurgitate that food for the pups, because the wild dog has this extraordinarily strong social structure where they all look after the pups. They know instinctively that they are the next generation and they will feed them. And the one thing about the wild dog, which you don't find with any other predator, and that is that they insist that their pups eat first. So they'll bring down a kill, make sure it's dead, bring in the pups to come and eat, and then they will feed. The adults will feed.
So they might have bad table manners, but they're very generous as far as the family is concerned. So complex family bonds, but there is human persecution, and there is also an issue of climate change, which has led to them being put on the endangered list.
Very much so. There's an ongoing research project at the moment about the impact of rising temperatures. The dogs do live in hot climates. I saw them in Tanzania under extremely hot conditions. But yes, so what that means is that they need to invariably travel to where there's water, and because that's where their game will be and their prey will be, and they have a longer time getting back to the den. So they might kill early morning, because that's when they do. They kill before, just as dawn is breaking and then just as sun is setting. And then they'll rest, because the heat of the day is too hot for them to travel the distance back to the den, which means that the amount of food that they give to the pups is less. It means that that a number of pups that survive will be less. Already there's an indication that the number in a litter is decreasing. So there are a lot of impacts of climate change on this really seriously endangered animal, and one that we really need to look after because it is so distinctly African and maybe uniquely African.
And that's where we are going to leave it. Jocelin Kagan, thank you very much indeed. That's the book. It's called Africa's Wild Dogs, a survival story. The photographer is Jocelin Kagan, and all royalties go to the Africa Wild Dog Survival Fund.